It's officially time to meet the whole gang. Hello everyone, and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we are headed back to the world of Warhammer Odyssey. I have been waiting 13 plus months to be able to make this video. The good old people at Virtual Realms every once in a while drops a meet the character for the mobile MMO Warhammer Odyssey, and the first one came out September 2019. Fast forward to today and we finally got our last meet the character. So we're going to be able to break down the entire gang. As always, I will share my thoughts. Please feel free to share yours in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to support smaller channels. All right, let's jump right into this. Our first class is the Witch Hunter. Now, before I start breaking down the Witch Hunter, I just wanted to quickly say that the Action RPG community, my personal Discord, does plan on running a mercenary company for Warhammer Odyssey. And a mercenary company for this game is the same thing as like a clan or guild. So if you're looking for a good group of gamers, a welcoming community to play this game with, please join my Discord. The link is in the description below. Meet the Witch Hunter. Reluctant to trust anyone outside their own order, Witch Hunters are by necessity masterful solo fighters. Yet if they find themselves in the company of those they trust, they are invaluable allies, wielding sword and pistol to devastating effect. A Witch Hunter is a dangerous foe to the evils of the old world. Now, I consider this character kind of the jack of all trades, and it puts it in the description that I feel like this is who people will want to use if you plan on rolling at this game from a solo perspective. So here's some of the concept art for the Witch Hunter. Group role. Both in solo play and within a group, the Witch Hunter is a damage dealer who aims to provide a constant high damage output reinforced by situational crowd control effects. Weapons. One-handed melee weapon, typically a sword, offhand pistol or handbow. Specialization. High damage critical attacks and status effects, or ranged short to mid-range pistol attacks that can cause bleed effects. Here is a picture of the Witch Hunter's pistols. My favorite is the one that has a little saw on the bottom. And then right here is the Witch Hunter's swords. It's my pleasure to introduce you to the Slayer. Those that survive their first few battles are considered unlucky, but have inadvertently been molded into skilled and dangerous warriors. Slayers often see service as mercenaries during their travels, called into action for the most reckless and foolhardy missions. Now, this character in the game is your main damage dealing melee class, but can also roll as a tank. And here is some of the concept art for the Slayer. Group role. The Slayer is a melee combatant, either as a damage dealer or as a tank. He stokes his rage as he fights, becoming stronger and faster as the battle persists. Weapons. One-handed axe, two-handed battle axe, offhand, one-handed axe, dual wield. Specialization. Dual wielding axes for high sustained single target DPS and reliable critical strikes, or tank, AoE damage with taunts and damage resistant abilities using a two-handed battle axe. I think from a damage output, if you're in a big fight dual wielding with this character, he will probably be the highest damage character in the game. That's just my opinion. Okay, here is some pictures or concept art for his one-handed axes. And here is the concept art for the two-handed axes. Meet the Shadow Warrior. Ooh. Masters of guerrilla warfare and deception, these ill-fated warriors ambush from the shadows to strike at their foes with sword or bow. Shadow warriors are highly agile, which makes them very hard to hit and able to position themselves to land devastating killing blows before quickly slipping away into the shadows. The people watching, this is your rogue style class for the game. Basically sneaking around, ambush, coming from behind. That is the Shadow Warrior. And it's kind of interesting because the way they made the Shadow Warrior looks, it kind of looks like a knight a little bit. It also reminds me of Coneheads. Come on. Somebody got that. Coneheads? No? Group role. The Shadow Warrior is a hybrid ranged or melee fighter that uses stealth, evasion, and critical strikes to defeat their enemies. Weapons. Two-handed bow, melee, dual-wielding swords. Specializations: ranged, long-range damage with roots and snares to keep their foes at bay, or melee, utilize stealth and position attacks to quickly burst down your targets. If PvP is in this game, this will likely be the best class for PvP. Here is an example of the concept art for the bow, and concept art for the Shadow Warrior's swords. Moving over to the engineer. In battle, their duty is to administer the well-being of the army's artillery and machinery, or as pilots for the gyrocopter squadrons. If the engineer is called to the front line, they often carry a vast assortment of gadgets and explosives that have the potential to wipe out entire enemy regiments, able to deploy offensive and defensive turrets as needed to assist their fellow heroes. The engineer can adapt to any situation and is an excellent ally to fight alongside. So this is the gadgets, the tinkerer. Some would call it like summons, because what you're making as far as turrets are doing the damage for you. So that is this class, and there is nothing like it in this game. I also think from an art direction, the people at Virtual Realms did the best job on the engineer, and I will show you that in a second. So here's the concept art for the character. I really like the backpack. It's got like spots for 4 different pistols. It's kind of cool. Group role. The Dwarf Engineer is a support class. While capable of holding their own, thrives when working with allies. Their assortment of turrets allow them to control the flow of battle and adapt to situations at a moment's notice. Specializations: offensive turrets and blunderbuss for high, medium range damage or utility. Crowd control gadgets while dual wielding a hammer and pistol. Weapons: main hand blunderbuss rifle or one-handed hammer, offhand one-handed pistol. Okay, so check out the art for the engineer's weapons. So the hammer kind of looks fairly normal, right? The blunderbuss. These look awesome. I think they did a really good job on the art direction for these, especially this last one right here. Looks really, really good. But lastly, the art for the turrets. Check these out. Detailed, and it really shows that this character you're going to be able to be utilized in every situation. So the turret right here is a feast, so I'm guessing it'll help heal or feed your allies, maybe give them a boost to damage or something like that. And you've got mortar, you've got multi-shot, you've got taunting turret. This character is going to be a game changer when they're in a group that knows how to utilize them. To left. Meet the Warrior Priest. In battle, these skilled fighters are the divine power of Sigmar to perform extraordinary miracles on the battlefield. Warrior Priests can call upon the wrath of the gods to smite creatures of darkness, utilize prayers to heal their allies, or enhance their defenses. The most devout and skilled Sigmarites may even save others from near death. Players, I give you the healer tank of the game, and most likely the most popular. So here is the concept art for the Warrior Priest. Looks pretty good. I think they did a good job on him. Group role. The Warrior Priest is a devout melee fighter that uses shouts and prayers to protect himself and his allies. Specializations: tank, shield allies with taunts, crowd control, and defensive buffs. Or healer, support allies with powerful heals and crush enemies with a two-handed hammer. Weapons: main hand, one-handed or two-handed hammer, offhand heavy shield. This is going to be a really, really fun class to play, and most likely what I'm going to select. Okay, let's take a look at some of the art for his weapons. You've got his hammer right here. Again, hammer. And then his shield. You don't need a shield with the Warrior Priest. You need to use two-handed with this character. Last and not least, the character that dropped today is the Archmage. In times of war, Archmages are most commonly found in an advisory capacity to kings and generals. Lending their insight beyond most mortal comprehension, only a fool would mistake this scholarly figure on the battlefield was easy prey. People, I give you basically spell DPS character that can also heal. You'll notice that a lot of the characters in here don't really use magic. That is where the Archmage fits in. And here is the concept art for this character. Looks okay. I think they could have done better on this one. Group role. In Warhammer Odyssey, the Archmage can specialize into a powerful healer protector, protecting their entire party from certain death, or a destructive caster with an incredible powerful high damage spells. Specialization, damage, command a terrifying arsenal of AoE and single target spells, or healer, utilize powerful heals and protect buffs while debuffing enemies. Weapons, two-handed staff or one-handed sword, offhand, magical focus. All right, let's take a look at this. Here is the two-handed staffs, and they look okay. And then here is the sword. Oh, I like the swords. Now let's take one final look at all the characters together. Witch Hunter, jack of all trades, good at everything but not the best at anything. You've got the Slayer, which is the main damage dealer melee class that could also run as a tank. Shadow Warrior, this is your rogue, shoot with the bow afar or get up close stealth. Engineer, this is your tinkering gadget class that makes turrets for both offensive and defensive. Looks like a really fun class. Warrior Priest, this is your main tank and healer. Rounding it out is your Archmage, which is also a healer, but your main spell damage dealing class. Every once in a while, a mobile MMO will hit the nail on the head, and I really, really hope that Warhammer Odyssey is that game. If you're planning on playing this game and you're looking for a good group of gamers that is going to be making a mercenary company, join the official Action RPG Discord. The idea is to create a gaming community that could jump from games to games together, so you never start the server alone, and we will be playing this game together. The link for that Discord is in the description. Now I'm going to finish off this video with one of my favorite game cinematic videos from the Warhammer 40k, or the Warhammer Fantasy Universe, and you'll see why I picked this video and potentially what class I'm going to use in this game. Stay home, stay safe. Do not forget to join the official Action RPG Discord. Aaron, out.
It has been a long and bloody year since the end of the Great War. While the Emperor has claimed victory, the peace that so many heroes gave their lives for has not settled on the lands. The hordes of chaos, though leaderless, continue to taint the northlands of the Empire. Vicious warriors attack merchant caravans and raid isolated farms and villages. The Emperor's battle-weary soldiers patrol the forests and hills, ever vigilant against bloodthirsty warbands intent on looting and slaughter.
Of Sigma for the Empire!
you.